Welcome to the Women in Engineering podcast. Today we have another episode in our discipline preview series. I'm joined by Annabelle Pundaky, who's in third year Mechatronics Engineering. Annabelle, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you? It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm great too. So happy to have you. I'm
Thank
just going
you.
to go right into the questions, starting off with first year. What first year
hmm
courses or experiences would give the best idea of what Tron is like?
So, since Tron is a combination of electrical, software, and mechanical, it covers a lot of bases in terms of first year courses. So, I think it might be easier to tackle that question in terms of like what courses maybe aren't as representative of Tron. We don't do a lot of chemistry, but honestly, in Tron, like a lot of things that you learned in first year start converging into different courses, which is really nice because it's really cool to see all of these like principles and fundamental things that you learn like come together. So I guess which first year courses such experiences would give me the best idea of Tron is like the whole thing just at a high level, like like staying curious and that's really everything. Yeah, everything.
So if you liked first year, Tron is just the way to go.
uh, yeah, that's clear that I did a terrible job answering that question. Let's redo
No, no,
that.
honestly, it makes sense, right? Because like you said, it's a mixture of disciplines. So it is very
Yeah,
much a
yeah.
little bit of everything.
Yeah, like honestly, I like the reason I chose mechatronics was because I was just honestly like still very curious about like multiple things. There wasn't just one thing in particular that stood out to me in first year. Like I loved, like I was like, oh, I could see myself coding more in the future. Oh, I also really like kind of I really like materials and like also like materials was also like pretty connected with like physics and math and stuff. So I like that. And then I also like didn't mind the electrical stuff. So that's why I guess this question's a tougher one to answer with Tron because if you're curious and can't really decide on only one particular discipline, it's pretty perfect for that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
And how are the Tron profs?
So the Tron profs, we do a lot of like ECE courses and also like I had a comp sci prof also, like we have a comp sci prof. So how are the profs? I mean, it just depends. There's a vast selection of profs, but for me, I even if like a prof maybe has like a bad rate my teacher and stuff like that, always try to look past it and like find ways to connect with them, because bottom line, like they are your profs, they are the ones marking you, and they've probably done something cool in their life to end up being a professor in engineering. They probably put some unique work in, published some cool research. So I would say my biggest thing about profs is don't take any of the preconceived notions that people will say, like, oh, this prof's like this prof's like that. Creep them a little and see what research they've done and see how you can connect with them and how you can make this the best possible. Go to as many office hours as possible, because ultimately your prof is who he is, and ultimately your goal in school is to do as well as you can do. So try to figure out a way to connect and make it the best learning experience possible, regardless who the prof is.
That's some honestly really, really good advice. I feel like we get so caught up in that like rate my prof score and we're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be so bad. Look at all the reviews. But sometimes it's not always representative of the prof, and maybe it just could be representative of a student who's not really vibing with them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And content. When content's hard, it's easy to point fingers at the prof, but um, you can always get to them somehow. Or if not, go to a TA, go to a different prof. But yeah.
Yeah. And are there any like Tron specific profs, or is it a lot of like mechanical profs, electrical profs, software profs?
So there are Tron specific profs for sure. Like we have some that are like we have like our Tron design course and that yeah, but yeah. So there are Tron specific profs, but yeah.
Okay. So you can definitely get those connections as well, then I guess within Tron.
Mm-hmm.
And how big are the classes?
So that's what's awesome about Tron is that it's quite a small discipline. The classes are 80 people. You got a Discord chat though. It's always popping, and you get very close with everyone, just because the problem solving brings people together in a beautiful way. So
Yeah, I think that's the nice thing about engineering, and I've heard it from many disciplines. You just get to know everybody by the end of those 4 years,
Yeah,
like you know everyone.
you know everyone, and yeah, you go through hard stuff with them, so you really know them, and it's beautiful. It's strong
It's
friendships for
it's the
sure.
ups and the downs, the shared
Hmm.
trauma of thermodynamics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, terrible.
Oh, going through that one right now.
Oh, we love it. We love it. I
Um,
love thermo actually. So if anyone has thermo questions,
all
please
right, I will talk to
let
you
me
about that after this.
know.
And what types of courses and projects are available to specifically Tron students?
Yeah, so the one course that really stands out to me is Mechatronics Design. And what we did there is we built, it was during our COVID year, right? So I was like working from home, but like big kudos to the Tron discipline. I think they really did a great job at facilitating this course. So in that course, what we did was we were tasked with making a robot, an autonomous robot that you click a button. Like we had to program and build it from scratch. All what the robot had to do is you click a button, it moves around an obstacle, and then it is able to catch onto a rope that's hanging from a doorknob, climb up and down. And you do that from scratch. Like we had to in SolidWorks model like CAD like the structure of the body of the robot and 3D print it, and then you had to do all the electrical components of it and stuff like that. So again, that is a very difficult project that you get so close with the people on your team, and it's one of those projects where you learn a lot, and it's a fun challenge. And only one team actually was able to execute on it. And I would say don't give up, because that feeling was the best feeling ever. Ever. Yeah, it was so good. It was oh my god, the amount of times I was like, this was terrible. But then when I look back now, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I just we made an autonomous robot. That was really cool.
I think a lot of times, like when you're in end, you get so
Yeah.
caught up in like, oh, I'm not doing well, I'm not doing well. But then it's like, you're in engineering. Like, take a second to appreciate that.
Wow. Yes, you hit the nail on the head with that statement. I definitely was so self-critical last year and the year prior, and it's something I'm always trying to work on. And now this year, I feel like maybe I've improved like 1% a bit, but it's always in the summers when you like take a step back and you're like, oh, I actually got a lot of stuff done. That's pretty sick. So yeah, definitely. You gotta remind yourself of the W's, so you don't get too down in the valleys when things get hard.
No, for sure. And okay, so are there any like specific specialization options for Tron?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm doing the Ivy dual degree. So I'm currently in Ivy. I'm in my third year, so it's like fully Ivy. I have a buddy who's doing comp sci with Tron, and really would, that is really cool. I would highly recommend that. If you like, I think at our age, it's the perfect time to really develop those technical skills. There's the biomed dual. Yeah, that's what I know of. But I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big one too with engineering. Like, there's so many dual options you can do, so you can kind of make your degree your own.
Especially at Western, and that's what I think really differentiates Western compared to other universities. Like it's not common that you can graduate with 2 degrees in 5 years. And I know when I talk to like people on a more international scope, they're like, whoa, that's sick. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I'm like, and then they talk to my friends at other schools and other and they're like, they can get a certificate in business, but that's not a degree, and people really
No.
respect degrees. So if you're at Western, definitely take advantage of the dual degree program.
Yeah, so many options. And so, just generally, without the duals, what career path does Tron typically lead to, and what are the job and co-op prospects for it?
Yeah, great question. I guess the job prospects, since you're doing three you're doing electrical, software, and mechanical all in one. The obvious job path, is the job path it leads to depends on where you decide to put your strong focus on, and like it's a very personal thing. Like I know people from Tron that went into software engineering because, you know, it's highly dependent on what you do outside of the classroom and stuff, and like where your true passion is. You can go right to robotics, obviously, because it's a robotics degree. You could go right into software engineering. You can go into consulting. You can do a multitude of things, and that's where I think it's like it's really up to you, and you can do whatever you want. It depends on where you spend, like where your heart really is at. And that's what's beautiful about the Tron degree, is like you get such a vast problem solving capabilities, and when you're covering 3 different types of disciplines, so it's up to you to choose like where your true passion lies, and then you go and fire away in it. And you know, you can find your passion through experimenting and trying a lot of things. Go to hackathons, go to case comps, join clubs. It's perfect. It's good. It's hard in Tron because you don't have a lot of time, but in summers and during reading weeks and stuff, would highly recommend.
Yeah, honestly, I guess it really does make sense because you're doing all 3 disciplines. So
Yeah.
you can kind of just pick and choose whatever you like. And so what are some tips that you would have to succeed in mechatronics?
Tips to succeed in mechatronics, first off, would be okay, first semester of second year, you do have 8 courses, so that's a lot. So good time management, that's a classic, and you know, being on top of your stuff is very important. But to me, I think staying open-minded and really, you know, getting to the first principle and trying to understand the fundamentals of everything to the max. Like, I always question why, and get to the root of the issue. And it's really good once you get to that and you really question and push kind of past the surface level, because then you can connect things from like your 8 different courses. Oh, there's actually a lot of things that are interconnected among all of them, and it makes your brain kind of really understand the content, and you feel like you're swimming, and you go into exams like feeling so fired up, because since you know it to its fundamental core, you can really apply your problem solving skills exponentially increase, and they can really throw any curveball at you, but since you know its fundamentals so well, so you can iterate kind of the application of your problem solving skills quite nicely. So that's huge. And second would be have a good environment, have great friends, ask questions. It's 8 courses. It's very difficult to do that by yourself, and you can make that experience a lot better by doing it with classmates that you have a good time with, learn well from. They make you smile, they make you feel good. That's very important. Only work with people that make you feel good and push you further in a good way.
Yeah, honestly, like even you know, in mechanical things like thermo, whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't understand it, you're never going to be able to do the questions, because one little part of the question will change and it's not what you've practiced and it's not what you're used to. And all of a sudden you're like, how do I handle this? And you're not going to know.
Exactly. Yeah, and theory, a good, like me and my friends would call, oh, let's do a theory run through, like a theory, like let's just do rip theory. That's what you'd say. And it's fun. Like you just get to, like, you know, you can do it in bed, like you're just laying in, like sitting in bed, FaceTime your friends, you know, just shoot some theory at one another. And office hours is very important for understanding theory, because profs can suck about teaching that in lectures sometimes. It takes because I mean, it is quite complicated. So office hours are a good place to know the theory, because that's the prof's jobs usually.
Yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense. And is there any advice you would have for students that are going into Tron or that are already in it?
Yeah, so first things first is stay positive as much as possible. It is so worth it. It is so worth it. Like, yeah, like that I cannot preface enough. I could give you a multitude of examples as to why it's worth it, but you can reach out later if you're wondering. Second thing is anything I'd like to add would be keep curious, stay open-minded. I think that is the biggest strength a human could have, is being curious and staying open-minded. So like I said before, is Tron has infinite doors that it opens, really. So I think, you know, finding your passion and what is the problem that you want to solve, in your career or whatever. So the way I navigate that is in the short term, experiment a lot. Every experience is good, even if it made you feel super bad. You learn what you don't like. That's important. You learn what you don't like is just as important as learning what you like. And so that right now is the time to learn what we don't like, so when we have a family, or we're living out on our own and we don't have our parents to help us, it's good to get those nuances out of the way now. So being open-minded and finding your passion is just try doing as much as possible, and learning what you love and what you don't love. It's beautiful. It's a good journey.
I think you should just be a motivational speaker.
Oh God.
Just anytime a Tron student's down, just come to you, be like, need a pick me up.
Oh yeah. I'm like, oh my God. I know I feel like I talk like this because I need to hype myself up sometimes when I'm getting down on myself. Like the reality is we all go through our valleys and stuff, but it's reiterating kind of these high level theories and stuff, helps you get through that stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so I know you mentioned trying a bunch of things. Is there anything else you'd like to add in terms of extracurriculars that maybe you're involved in?
So right now I'm vice president at Western AI for the flagship events. I was a project manager before. It was awesome. Led a team of 7 coders. And then now we're planning the 2 flagship events. The first thing was it was an awesome turnout, and the second flagship event is a data analytics case comp coming up in January, end of January. Super exciting. And I've loved Western AI. The biggest important thing in terms of extracurriculars is make sure it's a good team, gives you good energy, and you're with good people. It's probably an extracurricular isn't worth it if it's making you feel super down. Just don't do it. There's clubs and there's other clubs with people that you can vibe with, and go to those, because that's going to help you a lot. And I've met some of my best friends through clubs, so that's a huge thing. And also I'm a project lead at LF Consulting Group right now. I love it there. Again, it's just great energy. I love my team. I love everyone at the club. I'm good friends with everyone. If you're interested in consulting, we consult for tech startups internationally. So it's a good little combo with the eng degree. You still you kind of take the business side of these tech companies, and they can get quite technical actually. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, those sound like really cool opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to circle back just a little bit, Annabelle's links will be in the description of how you can reach out to her. So anyone that wants to do that, definitely check that out. And yeah, just want to say thanks for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I love sharing whatever I've learned, and I love learning new things. So if anyone has something cool that they'd like to talk about or mull over, any random topic, I love random topics, hit me up and let's chat.
Alrighty, well, I'm definitely going to do that. And to all of our listeners, hope you have a great rest of your day and you enjoyed the episode.